Alright, and away we go. Tuesday Pugs, 10-14. Keith is here, leading the charge. We're going to be watching that team first. We're going to have a... Let's find out the map. Trailer trash rotation. We didn't get this rotation at all, actually, last Pugs. This was the one that we completely missed, so they're going to have trailer trashed. After this, it's either going to be pipe cleaners or hinterland. Right now, we got the two teams. Team 2, we got Keith, we got Reg, we got Addicted, we got Source. And Team 1 on the opposite side, we got Artemis and NawFee, whose POVs we'll watch. I'll probably pop in and watch NawFee's for that one. Artemis, NawFee, along with Camper and Ciryllyn on that Team A1, who are going to have to go first here. Alright, let's bring it back to Team A2 and see what we got. So far, Keith is already locked in on that shredder. They're spinning points. Pretty normal. Last person spending now. He actually is getting talked through the rest because he didn't go ahead and just dump it into that Reeker offense. And now Keith's just going to go ahead and finish after he spends that last 100, looks like. So we're going to have Keith on shredder. Looks to be Addicted Wretch. And then looks like we're going to have Source and Reg as the tall boys. Reg on that regular tall boy, Source on that alternate tall boy, beginning with a crusher in case somebody's late. I can see a 249 already down there in that crate, right next to the room hold too, so they're unlikely to miss it. A12 sitting right next to it too. Seems to happen so often, those two power weapons just spawning in the same crate like that. Never want to see it when you're on the opposite side. They're going to manage to probably get both of them here. I don't see how they don't. There's NawFee already picking up that 249. And here comes one of their shotgunners going for that AA-12. In fact, the mom already has an AA-12, so they're going to have two AA-12s here. Doc, in fact, just goes ahead and takes it. Two AA-12s and a 249. You really can't ask for better RNG starting off than that, so not sure what kind of sniper and or weapon Carly has, but already that is a powerhouse in the hands of Team A1. Crusher goes in, does manage to get a crush. He's going to get a little extra value here because I guess the tall boy knocks the other two back and the shredder gets in as well. That crusher's still alive back there, just getting max value on him as they get pounded by the shredder. Lots of acid. That trauma is going to leave NawFee trauma capped from go as Walker, and the team is almost obliterated in the first hit. Keith throwing that out there in the chat. Yeah, that was something, man. They're going to have to do a lot better than that with the weapons they have. I don't know what happened right there that led to that almost catastrophic event. That was insanity for a few moments. They're also going to have to start healing that Walker to try to get some of that trauma back up. That poultice only doing about 20 trauma per heal. So here goes the Crusher again. They're going to keep at it because they keep getting value with it, even though it's an inside map. And that Crusher lives again for a little bit of time. Manages to actually get the down on Carly the Camper. Resh is just going in, puking, getting some acid on them, keeping them spread out. They've got a lot of trauma spread out on a lot of them already, and that's going to go ahead and be a second down on Camper due to that acid there. Man, they're bleeding lives and accruing trauma a lot faster than I thought they would for having two AA-12s and an N249. This is kind of interesting, and Carly does look to have an AK now. It looks like she's running a rifle deck, so Carly will take the LMG that NawFee does not wish to take round 2. Would likely be the plan. Do have a barrel outside for the cleaners here. Another crush goes in, gets NawFee again. The shredder's going to go ahead and pull and kind of discombobulate them. Tall boy rushing into. Now shredder's going to re-enter, go after Doc in the back room. This Doc is not going to make it out of here likely. No, okay, somebody does go down. That keeps her up. But she gets scratched and covered in anti, and she's going to go and have to res the Walker now, who is on at least the second in cap. Man, this is, I mean, they're still inside the trailer, thank God, but it's been pretty rough so far, even with a room hold. Looks like Keith's going to try to go for the grab on Mom here. No, okay, he opts just to go inside. Takes the bonk, takes a scratch, takes some acid. Doc squeezed in the doorway in the front, Wretch right behind it. They end up popping the Wretch first, actually. And Doc does end up going down to the crush plus the acid. Couple downs on most everybody. At this point, they're all kind of traumatized, all kind of hurt. They are going to go ahead and leave this trailer now, preemptively expecting that the circle is going to move and push them out anyway. Doc gets pulled back into that barrel. No friendly fire damage, at least, after they shot it. But NawFee ends up going down while there's a crush now. AA-12 does manage to clear it. Cyril goes ahead and picks up NawFee. And they're going to be back to moving again. I think they realize they can go into that yellow trailer now. So they've gotten good trailers. It's not like they've been pushed out and forced to hold somewhere weird. Swarm Circle's been nice enough to them, but man, were they struggling inside those trailers still. And there's another now down on the Carly, and Artemis Mom is now currently being crushed. Crusher's still half health. They have to go ahead and nade it. That might have even been a double nade. Shredder gets back in, gets in on the back bedroom onto Camper, the Carly in the back. Manages to get in front and get acid on the other two cleaners still inside. Walker went outside, possibly hunting one of the infected. Doc's going to go ahead and get this res here in the bedroom. Crusher's right back in on him, though, and gets a crush on Carly again. Crusher does go down this time. Wretch is puking in that window in the back. Shredder goes in the front. He's going to bowl through and get it down on Mom. Now he's getting scratches, going to die and get acid on this bathroom. The last two survivors in there are trapped in it all. That's a lot of damage if those tall boys can get in and act on it. Now that's a second down. Now two downs, Doc and Carly. Now they have a crush on Walker. I think that might be it. I think someone full died in the chaos there. And that is it. 4-10 in a room hold map where they got to stay inside the entirety of the time other than having to move from one trailer to the other. And they never got caught out. They were just struggling indoors, which is shocking to me, considering the weapons they had. Quite shocking. Give those props to Team A2 for really pounding it to them despite those power weapons. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Team A1 now, who's going to have to look to capitalize on that, honestly, subpar 4-10 time. They're spending points. Looks to be very regular. Basic round 1 points. There's the finish on Reeker, and that's likely the finish on Tallboy, and it is. You're going to have a Camper Shredder with a Cyril Wretch backing him up on the Reeker side, and a combo of Artemis and NawFee for the Tallboys. Artemis taking the main Tallboy, and NawFee looking to take the alternates, including the Crusher right now. They're going to need to do some damage against this Team A2 because I can't expect that they're overly ecstatic about that time. It's not like they just got wiped in that trailer. Like seemed like it could have almost happened at that first 30-second mark, but that 4-10 time on a room hold map where you don't lose part of the room holds is something. Artemis hitting with the hello to the chat here. I see it. I wonder if NawFee's going to type something. He was doing that the other day, but so far no. They do have a explosive crate right on top of their room hold. Barrel outside by the pole too. That's a nice barrel to have sometimes. If Shredder's able to get a pull there, usually the tall boys go in and act on it, and that can be a nice deterrent. Nade crate inside that middle trailer in the swamp that they're probably going to miss here. I wonder how many throwables they're really going to get. Maybe Team A1 has a chance here. Wasn't able to see too many of the weapons. Looks like it's going to be a Keith Carly. I recognize that skin. It looks to be sniping. They do have a bunch of barbed wires I'm seeing come out here. They're going to have this place kitted up with barbed wire. I think Doc has an AA-12 in the back. Yeah, it is an AA-12. I can see now. Carly has a sniper. Looks like either an M1A or a Phoenix. It's definitely not a Barrett. Goes ahead and gets that crush on Carly. The Mom also has an AA-12, so they do have two AA-12s, just like Team A1 did. A lot of damage there on the Keith Carly. Wretch puking in that window, getting some good acid. And the Walker has an RPK, so that's going to be a little bit on the rougher side for them. Keith is that Carly, as I expected. Doc here is probably, let's see, addicted. Okay. Addicted Doc. Keith Carly, and that leaves for their Walker and Mom. Source, who is definitely probably the Mom, and looks like to be maybe a Reg Walker, actually. I think that's what it's going to look to be, because that looks like Source is quarantined. Yep, Mom Skin, and it is. So that's a Reg Walker and a Mom Source. Wretch going in, getting that last bonk. Might actually put the other guy down here that's in the red due to the ante, and he does. So that's 2 downs. Doc's going to go ahead and get them. Infected can't push this and stop this here. A little too early for the wipe with those long spawn timers. Tallboy goes in to delay. Get a little extra trauma, a few extra hits, whatever's possible. NawFee going in, trying to get that burst leap to hit to the window. Shredder trying to pull one out real fast, doesn't manage to scoop anybody. Crusher's going to go ahead and get Mom here while the Shredder rushes in and covers him, just like the other team did. That was nice. A little bowl down the alley to keep the Crusher value going, and he does manage to secure the down because of that Shredder. Lots of damage on all these cleaners, and they're going to be losing this trailer after wave 1, so rough swarm for them. No one opened that nade crate on the top either, by the way, so they could be low on throwables. That's 2 unopened grenade crates that I have seen and pretty much confirmed at this point. That leaves them at most probably 2 more on the map, and that would be if they were lucky. Usually you're lucky to get about 3 of them. I'm sorry, you're lucky to get 4. You usually get about 3, so... They go ahead and use a nade there. Still a little early while they're inside, I think. Especially if they don't have many, but we'll have to see how many come out later. Down on the Walker, which is in fact Reg. Tallboy goes down. Infected are going to have to resync here. Everybody is healthy still currently. They're going to go ahead and start mopping up some of these common of Wave 2. Only about a minute and a half for them to go here. So Team A1 is going to need a lot of damage. I don't think it's completely out of the question, but they're going to have some really good attacks. And right there, that A12 popping the Shredder before he can even get in, that's going to help. That's going to help them. That Crusher's still getting value, though. Gets another crush on Carly all the way down. That's at least 3 downs on Carly now. Now they have a double down, too. That Tallboy managing to secure the down on Mom. Doc's getting these revives, but they're blowing through lives, too. And it actually looks like they're going to lose this trailer, too. So they're going to have to go to one of the middle trailers on the map, one of the swamped-in ones. Oh, Shredder goes ahead and pulls back as they try to exit. Crusher gets a grab in the doorway. They do save the Mom as they move out, going past that car right now. Somebody shoots it on that Tallboy. That could be a real easy kill, but nobody's shooting it. They're just shooting the Tallboy instead. Unless that car already blew and I didn't see it. The Tallboy's actually getting hits on the Walker. He does manage to get away and hop in that window, though, so now he's back to safety. Crusher's going in. Nice burst leaf by NawFee to get to the Carly. Does get the squeeze, and with that Shredder pull, he's definitely going to have the end cap here. Very nice pull by the Shredder to cover his Crusher, and the Crusher lived. That's 2 downs now, and this is going to be really bad if Walker doesn't have a taser here, which he does not seem to have. Everything else is dead, though, but Doc is far away. Due to the Inspiring, though, they might still live through this. If Doc has any meds at all, they only have 10 seconds, and the Crusher can't grab again. Somehow manages to get the res in the midst of all of them. How the hell did that happen? And they're going to beat on this Doc, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to be enough time. Just by the hair. Oh. I don't know how Doc manages to get that res sandwiched between 2 Tallboys. I'm going to have to go back and look at that tape exactly because I was trying to watch everything. But, man, I thought at that point, once the Crusher got the down on Walker with 10 seconds to go, probably the better play is not to go for the res, but if you have any meds at all, just run away and heal yourself if you need to, because that Inspiring is going to last even longer than that 10 seconds, and a Doc heal is going to be really, really beefy compared to somebody else. But, man, I don't know how that Doc got that res. Either way, though, this Team A1 is not out of it, as they just proved there. Team A2 might have won that round, but this is still, at least based off that round, anyone's game. Team A1 go ahead and spend in points. They're going to run that same lineup as before. Camper and Cyril on the Reekers. Artemis and NawFee on the Tallboys. Both teams getting some insane value with the Crusher inside, too, which is just almost unheard of on roomhold maps. A lot of that to do with the other players on the teams covering the Crushes, whether it be Shredder, whether it be Tallboy, whether it be Wretch. They just they were able to go in at the right times and kind of secure that Crusher value after he would get the initial crush. They were able to delay, stop the other team from helping him, and both teams just capitalized on that. Not sure if it's going to work as well here on round 2, though. When the cleaners are beefier as well. Just don't think it's going to quite get that same kind of value. But who knows? We'll see. They do go ahead and spend some points. They go ahead and get common lighted. That's right. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Raven's channel. That's right. If you like your content, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. We're well on our way to, I think, 15 subscribers. Woot woot. And the last couple points are going to go in here. I think they figured out they don't have enough for Monstrous. They went ahead and got Blighted, which honestly is fine. This is a room hold anyway, so I would most times rather have Blighted. And then that way it leaves them extra points to be able to get some of the tall boy utility and things like that. Crusher's going to go ahead and go in here. Misses that first little crush. Artemis goes in to cover him. Gets a nice double hit. Crusher's going to go ahead and get the crush on Doc here, but that Walker's going to go ahead and wipe him out, being right in front of him. Shredder walks in, does get a pull on the other two. Actually seems to have gotten a bonk. Maybe it was that wretch pushed Carly out for a moment into that back area behind the room hold here on Hinterland. Could have been rough if anybody else was up, but due to the long spawn timers, they're going to be able to get back in here, although Walker is slightly behind, and he's going to get caught out and kept out by NawFee. Oh, who accidentally bursts into the room, though. And then he's able to get in there with that. That is a down on Keith, though. Shredder went ahead and pulled him, and I think something else hit him, and that's going to motivate him down. Camper's going for the pull again. Does pull them to the window. Gets the bonk, gets some scratches. He's still alive. He's going to have another down on Carly here. That's 2 downs on Keith already. Sub 1 minute. And the Wretch is just going to go ahead and go in and charge here. Reapply some anti. NawFee's up with this bruiser. When he goes in, that's a lot of health for these guys to kill. That Walker's going to have to help him. He does, though. Manages to fry that bruiser. Only one at red HP now is Doc. But they've already had 2 downs on Carly. That might be something to stay on if they don't get any help from this circle. But it looks like they might. That circle's coming in pretty well. I don't think they're going to get to keep this room hold. I think they're going to get kicked out here. At best case scenario, they're going to get a sliver of it. At least some of this circle is coming in. Another nice crush, only on 100 HP. You got a couple seconds of value there. This time we do have a mom down. All that acid ended up putting her to the floor. And they are losing some of the rooms. No, they've got enough room in there. They could actually stay here for another wave, but they are practically guaranteed to lose it after that. Carly does go ahead and work out, though. Maybe not seeing that there's still a little extra room in there, or just wanting to go over here and get a little extra cover on the survivors from below, but right now she is solo. Ripper's going to go and pounce after that, chasing her down. Carly, that Keith Carly does have a Barrett now. Still trying to cover his teammates, shooting those Reekers more than that tall boy, but the tall boy does manage to go down here too. Walker with another RPK. Didn't get to see if they found the new LMG or not, or if that's just the green one from last round, but either way. RPK instead of a 249. They likely still have at least the 2 AA-12s from last round, but that is another down on Mom. Acid and Common in the middle, securing that one. Ripper's going in, just making a little bit of delay. He's getting shot from behind still. Doc's going to go ahead and go in for that res. Camper's here with the pull. Does stop the res. Ripper's still alive and covering. Manages to get taken out by that Barrett of Keith. Still have a tall boy and a Wretch alive. Keith is almost down again. That Carly red right there. In fact, Cyril's bonk's going to take him down, so that's a 3rd down now on Carly. 3rd down at 3 minutes. They either need to keep on that or they need to cover downs to go ahead and try to bring this to a close, which the Ripper's going to do. He managed to get 2 hits right there as he goes into cover. Shredder gets a pull out of everybody left and a bonk. Spews acid all over the place, including the body, and that tall boy's going in now, covering the res too. Here comes Cyril, going to go through with the bowl. He could likely get Doc down here. I'm sorry, Mom down, and he does. But that does leave Doc able to get that res on Carly, and he does manage to get a heal on him. NawFee's going in. They do get the res on Mom. He's beaten back on Mom. Carly's on last life now at this point, if they don't know. Good pull by Camper. All 4 in acid right there. They're going to down Mom here. I'm not sure if they realize that Carly was on last life and could be completely out of this if she goes down once more. Right now, that Walker's red too, getting hoarded by Common, does go down. That's honestly probably better if they can secure that res again, though, because he's got more lives than anyone else. NawFee's going in. Oh, just barely not going to miss that. Source was actually last life too. He full dives right there. They're rushing in. Doc's going to be down in the swarm, almost in an unreachable place, and the other two are hurting. This is likely going to be it right here. Last one goes down, that walker, and Keith's going to be full dead here in the swarm. As I said, last life, little 420 time there. Only 10 seconds more than the previous round. This is still, once again, anybody's game. Once again, that's kind of a subpar time for... This one's a little bit less room holdy because you're a little more likely to lose that room earlier on than, say, in Trailer Trash, where you have multiple trailers you can relocate to. But still, for this map, you know, getting at least minimum wave 1 within that room, you usually want to shoot for at least 430 to 5 here. Average being somewhere in between that. So this is a very much doable and very realistic time for Team A1 to reach here. And we're going to pivot back to Team A2, watch Keith's Shredder side, and see if they can go ahead and close this out here. Both teams playing excellent Ridden. So who knows? Keith's team, on the other hand, has opted to go with monsters, even though it's a room hold. Maybe banking on the fact that they're going to get pushed out of the room at some point. The hope would be after wave 1, but if it goes just like that last round went right here, could be after wave 2, but then they still have one wave, wave 3, the most dangerous of all, outside usually. In which case, at that point, they would have 50 seconds left to wrap it with the outside common. So we'll see how it goes. Reg and Source back on those tall boys. Addicted on Wretch. And they're going to go ahead and start looting here. I see an AK or something in that crate over there. Unfortunately, Keith's not giving me much to work with here. I can't see a whole lot besides that room. Looks like they did drop some ammo up in there. They have a propane sitting outside right below the room hold. Mom's got a Super 90. Not sure if I would have dropped that A12 for any Super 90. I would likely have just taken the attachments off it if it's decent. M249 sitting right in front of Keith here, though. And these survivors are going to be late. No one's even picked up that 249 yet. Keith's going to get a chance at pull here if he can get the spawn. But, ooh, he's just too close. Doesn't realize it. Now he does. And Mom's actually caught out, so they are going to get caught out here. Keith pulls another one down, but they are hard going after Mom right here, trying to get her. But she runs away, manages to escape. Keith's going to get maybe another pull? Nope. He only had 20 HP, and they did secure the kill there. All the infected are wiped, and they will get in now. They do, in fact, have a Carly with a 249 as well. This Team Team A1 has gotten some decent RNG. They have two M249s, a green and a blue, in the hands of Walker and Carly, which, as long as they don't run out of ammo, is going to be suppression. Both of them are currently reloading, though. Keith's waiting here, just trying to hold out for his tall boys. Sometimes he does this a little too long, though. I know I've popped him in moments like these when I see him waiting on his tall boys. Always nice to just wait to spawn in until you're absolutely ready to go. Crusher gets in, does get a crush there for a few seconds, and then wiped out by those 249s. A little decent attack there and some damage. Puke going in from the far window, reaching into the back, hopefully. Mom taking a quick look for that wretch, but not poking her head out, not wanting to take too much of a chance. Looks like Keith might go for the pullout here if Mom lingers. She kind of is, but oh, she goes slightly away. He does manage to get the pull towards him, but gets caught in that windowsill and does not get pulled out. And Team A1 is going to get the room here too. Oh, Walker just landing on the Shredder's head. Shredder's trying to get up, but can't. Ends up dying there on the ladder, and that's a down on Doc, though. Not sure why they've pressed out of here. I mean, they've lost a little bit of the room, but definitely not enough that they would have to come out here. So this is 100% their choice. They just feel this is the better play now. Walker is sitting in my truck over there. I think NawFee's watched me become friendly with that truck, and now he realizes how great of a spot it is. Sometimes those tall boy hits get stopped by the top of it. Crusher manages to get a crush for a few seconds. Wretch getting some pukes here, but those tall boys not getting much right here, even though they're outside. They're setting up and spawn blocking pretty well, including this mom on the shipping container right here. Keith's waiting on tall boys again. Tall boy spawns in right next to where Keith was going to go. Now Keith goes ahead and takes it, rushes in, tries to get a pull here. Does manage to get one, gets the Doc isolated as the Crusher grabs NawFee, the walker. He gets a second or two, but then gets fried, likely by the other 249. Yes, it was. And Doc is down next to that shipping container. They're going to go ahead and get the res here. It's about 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Their circle is still pushing in slowly, believe it or not. They still have a little bit of that room inside, but at this point, it's definitely going to be too little to hold. NawFee running for something in the swarm, or maybe that was Doc. No, it was NawFee. And manages to inadvertently bait out the shredder and pop it. Alright, 50 seconds, wave 3. They are outside like they hoped. Let's see if this monstrous and their play can pay off. Shredder's got 5 seconds before he can spawn. They kill that Crusher instantly, nading it, honestly, after it was dead, unless that was for the tall boy and I missed it. Shredder's going in here, does manage to get a pull on 3 of them. Walker's almost down. A pipe bomb went out, though, for a lot of that common, which is going to kill them. Walker does go down, but the rest are healthy, and if Doc gets this res and they spread out, that's almost certainly going to be enough for them to secure it. The Crush, though, while the tall boy beats on the other 2 far away, Doc's trying to clear it, doing her best. She does. A nade goes out a little late. Crusher was already dead, so at least they wasted a nade. Shredder does get 2 pulls here, but this is not going to be enough. Camper, the Carly, does go down, but still just not quite going to be enough. I think that's last up, though. Everyone else is down except for Doc, but as you see, just slightly enough, like round 1 for the opposite team. And so Team A1 is going to take round 2, and we're going to go to a round 3 tiebreaker. Round 1, 410. Round 2, 420. Can we get a 430 round 3? Or will someone finally reach 5 minutes? Let's see. Pipe Cleaners is a tough, tough map, though. And on a round 3 here, with the common coming in really fast on a close quarters map like this, if they get pushed out of the room hold on red, then it could be rough. Could, in fact, be rough. I like to call this map Chaos just because I don't think we've seen any other map have as many crazy and chaotic things occur on it than we have on Pipe Cleaners. I have personally seen more double hang scenarios on this map than any other map in the entirety of the history of my playing of Back 4 Blood. Which at this point, I think says a lot. With somewhere around... Man, I don't... If I had to put some kind of a number on it, like... At this point, it would probably be somewhere around 3,000 games of Swarm played. And this map is definitely the #1 in terms of crazy, crazy things happening. It's all the different levels. This map just has so many different elevation levels, and anything that you can do to separate the survivors from one another, the cleaners, it can be devastating. Cleaners looted that pit pretty quick and looted the edge as well pretty quick, and they're all centralized by about halfway through scavenge, so hopefully they were able to get all the loot that they needed. Looks like NawFee's making a nice RPK with those attachments right there. Camper looks like still has an M249. Doc picks up something new, and I think the mom has either another Super 90 or it looks like another Super 90 or a Super 90. Doc has an AK. So I'm not sure what happened to the AA-12s. Interesting that they went ahead and dropped them for some other weapons, but we'll see how that goes. Nice hit there by the tall boy. Got Walker off the top real fast, and he's going to go down here in the middle of that horde of common and acid. Doc going for the res almost right away. Addicted's getting that puke in there afterwards. Keith's going to try for a pull. He does manage to get Walker down somehow from the top, and this is going to be another down on Walker in 35 seconds. Interesting start there. They actually elect to go ahead and throw a pipe bomb on wave 1 because of how crazy that was going, and that barrel does take out the tall boy coming in trying to crush one. Walker's half health. The Wretch does try to play it aggressive, keep some acid on them, but he's going to be out of ante here and getting a heal probably before this tall boy can get in. Whoa, what is he doing? He's just sitting there holding a grenade? Why is he... Okay, now he does get healed now, and he does. That was a grenade. He just goes ahead and throws it here. That might not have been the play if they come around to needing them later, unless they have a ton down below, which I'm trying to look, but there's a lot of ammo spread out, and I can't really see it. They do manage to get it down on, it looks like the mom there. They went ahead and picked her up, so that does get Walker off the cycle a little bit, but not sure about that nade there. I really don't know about that. Alright, Wretch is going in, playing it aggressive, getting right up in their faces for the puke. Shredder's going to go and try to pull somebody off here. Does manage to pull the Walker down. And now the tall boys could dive straight back on that Walker, which the one does, and that is another down on Walker. They're doing a pretty good job of targeting this Walker here. That is 3 in caps now for Walker, pre-wave 2, which now begins. Wretch puking from the back, trying to get slow and anti on the survivors up top. They do maintain the red room hold here for wave 2. Not getting pushed out yet. Tall boys are up for the Shredder. Shredder goes ahead and spawns, does a fast climb to get to the top. Instead of pulling, just elects to go for the charge, does get some scratches, and gets lots of acid up there on that top row. And the Crusher goes in and manages to get a crush on the Walker, and he's in a lot of acid. He's healing himself just to ensure he doesn't go down before getting a heal by Doc. Might have been the play, actually. Can't afford to have that Walker lose all their lives this early. He goes ahead and gets a pop on the Wretch there, sticking his head out with that RPK to do it. And Keith's going to go ahead and get a spawn, looks like down here by the pillar as the Reg Tall Boy goes in. He's going to try to pull here. It does pull the Carly below. But if he goes ahead and downs this Carly, that's going to start some inspiring on everybody else. Wretch does go bowling in. Keith lived through that too. Gets another pull while Walker's in a pus-slow. He's going to be down too at this. Nade comes in, but too late. That's 2 downs, and they're covered in pus. They need to go ahead and get these reses before the other tall boys get back in. They do. Walker is green health for now, but the tall boys are back on him. Another nade goes out to soften up those tall boys, but neither of them are dead yet. In fact, Cyril just goes ahead and elects to throw another nade because they are targeting this Walker to perfection, and he's going to suffer another down here. In fact, that's full dead. 328 on Walker. Keith with a nice pull, dropping one into the pit. This is going to be a down on Carly because no one's killed Keith the Shredder right here. With that acid, he's going down, and if Camper was the only one with the defibs there, that could be bad. Alright, the quick res by Doc does get him up, but do they have defibs is the other question. No one seems to be doing it right now. There's lots of acid down there, so maybe they're waiting. But Keith's going to be able to get back in and get another pull here while they figure out what's going on. Camper's down in the pit below. Pull on the other 2 hits them. And does this Doc have a 249 as well? Am I seeing that? Were they running 2 249s and an RPK? That's a lot of ammo. That crush on Doc with this attack on Artemis right there is going to end up ending it. But he's got some inspiring. That's a high crush. Does manage to go ahead and take him out now, but we will not see a 5-minute time here. We will not even see a 4:30 time here. We will see a 4:12 time here. Almost par for the course as we've seen this entire game. Now it's 4:10, 4:20, and 4:12 have been the times to beat. The first 2 maps I would have expected more. This map, this is a little more of something I could see, especially on a round 3, which can sometimes be rough. But I don't know if you're happy or if you're upset with that time as Team A won there. I really don't, because you could win this or you could lose this. It honestly depends on a lot of factors. Your ridden play here, how much value the common get, whether the swarm circle helps you. This is one of those where even though it's a 4:12 time, most of the time I would lean towards the other team beating it, but I really can't say that it's going to go that way for sure. Okay, so Team A1 is setting, I'm sorry, Team A2 is setting up now. Mom's holding off spawning, the other ones are getting out of the pit, maybe dropping supplies. I think the key point for this one is how well this team is going to be able to attack them while they're still in that red tower there. If the first hits through wave 1, you know, and the leading up to wave 2, so basically the first 2 minutes, if they can't get some good value with their attacks, attacking them while they're most definitely still going to be in red tower, then it's going to be a little rough. I have to see if they can target somebody just like the other team did. Team A2 did to them. They targeted that walker. Didn't end up full killing him until about 3:30, but still, that was enough. With him gone from the picture, and the Team A2 didn't seem to have any defibs, so that was enough to help them secure that wipe about 42 seconds later. NawFee marking their toolkit, but it is round 3, so likely just ignored in that situation. And they're going to be slightly late to the room. Doc and somebody bringing up the rear. Tallboy's going in, keeping Walker out. And that's a good pull by the Shredder already. Not quite as much damage as I expected there. I mean, there are no common in yet, but Wretch is puking. Carly's still kept out. Lots of common on Carly now, too. If this Wretch were to go in and bonk her to keep her out. But actually, she's staying out on her own. They have unopened crates, both heal and throwable right here. Both these teams, I'm not sure what's going on with their looting. I did mention about this team, Team A1, possibly regretting throwing some of those nades early. Could be similar to this with the looting pattern here of Team A2, and that's going to be a down on Keith right there, the Carly. Tallboy's going and getting what they can, getting some damage now. In fact, they're going to have another down over here with this Wretch and Tallboy in the center probably. Oh, she's so close. She does manage to get out of it though. That was Doc, and somebody else goes ahead and picks up the Carly Keith. Because Doc was bombarded by those Tallboys. 2 reds, the Walker and the Doc. They do go down now and start opening these crates. Someone went down to get some meds. Might be a med issue. They don't seem to be healing very much. They might not have gotten very many, and one of those reasons might be that crate of heals that's right by the room hold. A nade does go out there already, kills the Shredder plus that Tallboy. But everybody in here is hurt. And there doesn't seem to be much healing going on. I think there is a healing crate outside. That crate outside the window is, I'm pretty sure, 100% always a heal crate. Don't think I've ever seen anything else out there. Maybe a shield crate, but I feel like I'm making things up in my mind. I feel like it's always a heal crate. So I think Doc went and got a couple out there, but they're going to lose those grenades right there in that crate. Walker goes ahead and uses a nade. Maybe his idea was to go to that crate and pick those up, but at this point, it's going to be pretty swarmed out. He just has to cover his teammate shooting that Shredder down, and that Cyril Wretch is kind of blocking their ability to go and get those grenades from that crate. So those grenades are essentially lost at this point. Unless, no, he does try to go get them. And Cyril blocks him and gets an explosion on him in Swarm. That's a lot of damage with the anti, the common, and the Swarm. He just barely makes it back in before going down. And this Tallboy is gunning right for him, I can tell. And he does go down to common, actually, before the Tallboy can even get there. Tallboy does manage to get a hit on the mom now with that AA-12, then gets killed. Looks like Doc has an AA-12 or something too, I think I heard. Carly's up top sniping, does manage to take out that Wretch. They get Walker up, but without a heal, he's going to go right back down to common here. This is rough already, just like for their Walker it was. And still no heals on the Walker. Okay, no, he did just get a heal right there. They might have gotten some from somebody else at this point, but that Walker's still been down 2, maybe 3 times. I actually didn't start counting on him. Carly red, Mom red, Doc red. Only one not red now, Walker, but that Inspiring does go off. Wretch going in here, getting a bonk and a bump. Oh, with the Stalker play. Oh, but gets caught on the railing, so he doesn't go with him. That silly, silly bug with the hitboxes. NawFee kind of getting screwed there by that. Just a bad timing, unfortunately. Camper's going to go in. He does isolate somebody here on the edge of Swarm. That's Doc down on the edge right there. They did lose red after wave 1, so kudos to them for making it through that wave 2 at least still. But they're going to go ahead and get Doc up here, and we got 40 seconds to go. This team A1 needs to go. They've got a lot of damage to do here in a minimal amount of time. Camper's going to get a pull here. That's going to be pretty good, but they miss it. Don't get anything there with that. But they're healthy enough at this point. If they stay out of acid and common, this is going to be really hard, especially with those Reekers dead. Tallboy goes in. Everything's down right now. Everybody on at least 5 seconds. And with only the common and the acid in here, I think they're just going to be slightly too healthy. I mean, that's a good pull by the shredder. Everybody in acid, but they would have to go right now. They've got 9, 8, 7. It's just not going to be enough. It's just not quite going to be enough, but it was damn close. Few seconds of difference here throughout this. But Team A2 is going to end up taking it in round 3 after a incredibly hard fought for game by especially both ridden sides. Both ridden sides were making some incredible plays, especially those crushers in round 1 and round 2. Round 1 especially. Interesting game. Down to the wire for the most part.